Hello again, everyone. It's Carla. And I've got a book about map grids today with a trip to Yellowstone. Greetings from Yellowstone. Hi, I'm Carla, and I like to travel. That's because there are so many amazing things to see in the world. Whenever I go somewhere, I always bring a map. Today, I'm going to explore Yellowstone National Park. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. The park is mainly in the state of Wyoming, but it's so big that it's in Montana and Idaho, too. Because the park is enormous, I won't be able to see everything on this visit. Instead, I'll visit the 4 places I want to see most. My map will help me find them. Here I am at the Roosevelt Arch, one of the entrances to the park. The Roosevelt Arch is in the state of Montana. People have been going under this arch to enter the park since 1903. Before I go under the arch, I'm gonna find the first place I want to visit on the map. It's the Grand Prismatic Spring. First, I'll look at the map for a list of all the places on the park. The list is called the Map Index. I'll look through the index on my map for the places that I want to see. They'll be easy to find because the words in the index are in the same order as the alphabet. Here's the Grand Prismatic Spring. In the index, next to the words, it says B4. That's a kind of code. I'll show you how I can use the code to find something on the map. Do you see how my map has straight lines on it? Some go from top to bottom, and others go from side to side. Together, these lines make up the map grid. It's kind of a checkerboard. First, I take out my pencil and I look for the letter B on the top of the map. And when I find it, I draw a straight line down the map. Next, I look on the left for the number 4. And when I find it, I draw a straight line across the map. And it's okay to draw on a map if it belongs to you. My 2 lines meet right in a square on the map grid. That square is B4. That's where the Grand Prismatic Spring is. And while I'm looking at the square at B4, I notice something else. 1 square down in B5 is Old Faithful. That's on my list of places to see in the park, too. I'll go to the Grand Prismatic Spring and then straight to Old Faithful. Most of Yellowstone is on top of a giant underground volcano. The water in the Grand Prismatic Spring is heated by super hot liquid rock that's not very deep in the ground. The water is too hot to touch, and it smells like rotten eggs. But it sure is beautiful. It has bright rings of color that make it look like a painting. Next, get to Old Faithful. It's probably the most famous place in all of Yellowstone. Old Faithful is a kind of spring too, but the water in Old Faithful gets so hot that it shoots up into the air. That kind of spring is called a geyser. Old Faithful shoots water and steam into the air about 17 times a day. When I get to Old Faithful, I'm not allowed to get too close to it because it's too dangerous. Then the ground starts to rumble and the geyser sprays boiling hot water and steam 150 feet into the sky. Everyone cheers. Old Faithful sprays water into the air for 3 minutes. Afterward, it's time for me to go to the next 2 places I want to see. The Petrified Tree and Lamar Valley. I unfold my map again and find the Petrified Tree in the map index. It's in square D2. This time, I don't need to use a pencil on the map grid to find D2. Instead, I use my fingers to find the D and the 2. Then I move the finger on D down while I move the finger on 2 to the right. I land on the square that shows the Petrified Tree. I also spot Lamar Valley in the same square. When I arrive at the Petrified Tree, I ask a park ranger to take my picture. Then she tells me the tree was buried millions of years ago. But instead of rotting and turning into soil, it turned into a rock. It's a tree fossil. Next I go to Lamar Valley. It's the best place in Yellowstone to see wolves, bisons, and other wildlife. I don't get to see any wolves, but there are a lot of bisons. I take pictures, but I don't get too close. Bison are really big, and their horns are sharp. When the sun starts to go down, I take out my map one last time to find my campground at Slow Creek. Tonight, I'm going to roast marshmallows by the fire and sleep in a tent. I can't wait to show everyone at the campsite where I've been today and hear about their adventures too. Thanks for listening to my adventure. This is Carla. Goodbye for now.